Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this video I have for you a 4 versus 4 on Iron Waters, and in this one I'm going to be using the 8th US Infantry Division. It's been a little while since I used the 8th Infantry Division, so that's one reason that I wanted to show you guys this replay today. But also because something rather strange happens, which puts us definitely up against it throughout this game. But let's just quickly go through deployment. At the start here, I've got some of these LRS squads. Originally, I didn't really like these squads, but they seem to perform very, very well at close range. And they also have an AT launcher, so it makes them very useful in the early game. Then I've got the Jaeger Aufklärer, which are just your standard, really good recon units with the 11 men. There's going to be the OH-58 Scout at the start with its minigun, which unfortunately isn't very useful at the moment. And then we have some Stinger squads. I've got some mechanized rifles there. I've also got an AH-1F Cobra that's coming up at the start to support my initial engagement. And I've got an M1A1 Abrams, a Chaparral, another M1A1 and Chaparral, two M113A2 supply vehicles. These are here to resupply the Chaparrals because they only have 4 missiles, so making sure you have supply for them is very important, otherwise they use them up very quickly and then they just don't do anything. And I've also got an M577 CPC, which is going to be capturing our back cap. But those of you who might have noticed with a keen eye that the left side is completely empty. It was at this point that I realized that we were at a 3v4 rather than a 4v4. And worse than that, our player wasn't leaving the game. He was just AFK. So basically it wasn't like an AI took over and started playing. We just didn't have his points or his units whatsoever to use, which is really bad. Either way, I'm going to be focusing on my initial engagement here because it's quite important that I get this right. So I've got the Cobra. It's going to be supporting the LRS squads that are moving up there, as you can see. And I've also got the Jaeger Aufklärer moving into position. Now I'm trying to get the AH-1F Cobra in position with the Hydra rockets to engage any infantry that these Mi-2s have just dropped off. So we're going to be seeing the Einsatzgruppe on the right hand side, but land a bunch of rockets into them. Going to be going for the hits onto the Fallschirmjäger, take them out. And these rockets early on are super strong. The MiG-23 had enough of that. Going to be coming in, shooting down the AH-1F nice and early on. But my Jaeger Aufklärer in a team of 2 here, going to be able to deal with the Fallschirmjäger. Just after that, however, the MiG-21 is going to come in. It's going to bomb both of those squads and kill them, and also shot down my recon helicopter there. So really bad for me. What's even worse is I didn't shoot down either of them, so pretty awful start, honestly, for my initial engagement. The only good thing that happened out of that is I killed his Fallschirmjäger here, which has left me with a little bit of an infantry advantage for the time being. Also, the Einsatzgruppe that were here probably took a little bit of damage from the rockets that did land on them at the start. So over on the left, Mario, what a hero, sent over our Bradley CFV. I'm also going to be sending a few Jaeger squads over here shortly, just to kind of hold back our opponents if they decide to push. Unfortunately, you know, our opponents hadn't really pushed yet, or at least that we knew of. So they hadn't taken these sectors, basically, and that was a saving grace, because currently the enemy are at a +6. It mainly comes down to the fact that we haven't captured Charlie or Echo yet, so that's obviously causing a bit of a disparity. But I am making some decent progress towards Quebec. Like, I am in a good position here, honestly. Securing this area at the start on this lane is really important. Because this is generally where most of the contention happens, but if you can get past these buildings, then you're always putting pressure on the opposing sector. So that's exactly where I want to be, and any reinforcements I come up are going to be pretty much clear to drive the whole way up into this sector. And I've also decided to bring up another AH-1F Cobra now, which is going to be helping me with more of its Hydra rockets. So the Fallschirmjäger are going to be bumping into them with the mechanized rifles. Unfortunately, these guys are pretty good, and they're going to be forcing back my mechanized rifles. They're mainly winning this engagement because of the extra veterancy there. The AH-1F will be able to do a good job. MiG-21 going to be coming over the top here, hoping to shoot that down. Unfortunately, do not once again. My AH-1F Cobra does finish off the Fallschirmjäger Eagle taken out an aircraft. That looks really cool. But I am having to pull that back due to whatever could be here, either a Brusa or whatever But here we go. Jaeger squad's coming in. I'm also going to cap this Lima sector because that's a +2 sector, so making sure that we have that is super important to relieve this +3 that we still have going up against us. So LRS have made it into here, which is good. I've also got the M1A1 able to cover the main road there. Slowly starting to move up my chaparral, and I'm going to be trying to send this Jeep forwards to find out what's opposite us. Since there was like the HGMs coming out of here, which you can see are attacking Davis's scimitars right now. And Mutchison going to be coming down the road here from Cap. He gets ambushed really nicely. I'm a bit worried that he's going to unload behind me, so I had to like micro my M1A1, but he didn't end up unloading those. He's probably focusing elsewhere when this happened. This Mutchison is going to get up to this building, but he doesn't actually unload that just yet. Going to be spotting the Shilka here. That's going to be taking out the Jeep. But meanwhile, I'm having to move back the M1A1 because the HGM vehicles, or sorry, the HGM infantry was still in position here. And the M1A1 trying to move forwards here, kill off the Mutchison, managed to get rid of that. And on the left side, things are all pretty quiet right now. The Jaeger chilling in their Unimogs. Should have had them on unloaded position orders when I brought them in. A good tip, if you are bringing in units, you can give them an order before they come in. So if you select the unit, press the order you want to give, and then left click, what will happen is they'll do that order as they come in. So you can give them even like an attack move position, and they'll just attack move from the start rather than using the road. Or you can press Y and do the unloaded position order, and then they'll automatically unload position rather than having to add the order afterwards, like in a shift command. Going to be popping another vehicle there. Mechanized rifles did pop the Shilka that was in the cover here, so managed to get rid of that. But the MiG-31 coming over all of my AA again and not getting shot down. Finally, the Chaparral of Mario gets the job done, so that was nice. But yeah, I've got these 2 Stinger C squads, well 4 Stinger C squads, sorry, and 2 Chaparrals, and I'm not shooting down any of these aircraft at the moment. I'm getting really, really unlucky, especially considering all of these Stinger squads have 70% accuracy. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Anyway, we're still losing to a +1. I've decided to bring up a TOW-2 on the left hand side here. These TOW-2 squads are really strong, but the main reason I was bringing this in was to attack these T-55s that are keeping their distance from Mario's infantry in this area. He's also got this Apache hanging about, which isn't going to make it very desirable to push in. Over on this left-hand side, the Commissar guy really wasn't pushing very aggressively, so I decided to really commit a few more forces to securing this area. So you see I brought in another Jaeger squad. I'm going to be bringing up a Stinger squad, and basically any extra points that I had that I didn't need over here, I was sending over to the left. But SU-22 going to be coming in and going down, which is a good kill for us. That is one of the SU-22s with the air-to-ground missiles, so not too bad. But the Mi-2 here going to get stunned. That is going to force unload the HGM squad, and the LRS are going to easy clean them up very quickly indeed. Over on this side, Davis's flanking push into the backside of the sector did find the Fallschirmjäger leader that was chilling out here, so we have managed to decap this, which is good. And on the left, again, I'm bringing up more and more units. I'm going to Chaparral on the way. I've got the mechanized rifle there, the LRS. If you're wondering what that +15 thing was, that was where I was selling the Unimogs that were on that left-hand side. So now I've got Jaegers moving up. I've also brought up these gunners. Now these gunners are interesting because they have 3 M60 machine guns. So they do pin down enemy squads really fast. And the good thing about them is that they basically stun the enemy. So if you couple these gunners with another infantry squad at the moment, they are really effective. I think there's a East German equivalent that's also very, very good at the moment. I think they're like the Pulamachiki, I think they're called. Actually, no, I guess that's the Russian one. Yeah. Either way, there is one on the Soviet side that can be used to pin down enemy squads really fast and stun them. But I've got more troops coming up here. Got the Stingers on the way, Jaegers, mechanized rifles, M1A1 still covering the road. This player is now moving across his Strela 10Ms. I'm not entirely sure why he was doing this. Maybe it was to shoot down my AH-1F, but he realizes that was a mistake a bit too late. My M1A1 gets nice couple free kills there onto those Strela 10Ms. Now this rocket artillery is coming in because it's looking for my Toad 2. My Toad 2 did a really good job of taking out the T-55s out in the open over here. But now my opponent has finally decided to move up into this sector on the left hand side, into the Kilo sector. His infantry is going to bump into my Jaeger squads. I've got the LRS there as well now. I'm continuing to make room over here. You can see I'm just doing attack move orders across the open. And I think fortunately for me, Cap was maybe a little less experienced in the game. So it was enabling me to put my extra points on the left hand side to cover off this side of the map. We also managed to take out the BTR 50PE that was coming up the road, and there's another one that's quite blatantly revealed due to my LRS squads. So all I need to do really is get my mechanized rifle across with the Dragon 2, and I'll be able to take that out as well. And having done so, that will take away this +2 sector, which will put us at a +2 lead. MI2 is coming over to see what's going on, but does bump into the 50 cals of the M1A1 Abrams and also the M113, so that wasn't too bad. Now I'm going to see a bunch of these Motorstrelki coming across here now. The Springkopf guy noticed a big old gap in our front line and has decided to exploit it. So he is pushing now behind Mario into India using all of these Motorstrelki. I've decided to bring in some Alpha Jets with the Napalm. I thought that'd be a good idea to kill off a lot of this Motorstrelki squads. Also managed to take out this command vehicle in the meantime. But here come the Alpha Jets. So these are the ones with the 2 500-kilogram bomb Napalm. And they're pretty effective at taking out units in buildings. You can see it does a reasonable amount of damage there. This one, the reason this one didn't do as much damage as this one did is because technically the napalm landed next to the building that they're in. So it doesn't really completely affect them, and so the Apache's having to go to work there to take them out. Now Mario, kind of luckily in a way, was using the UH-60A CV here. And what that meant is that he could run it away from the Motorstrelki nice and quick. But he has brought up another mechanized rifle leader there to help contest that sector. And meanwhile on the left, things are really starting to heat up as Commissar makes his push with the Motorstrelki and the Resvedka Heavy. I do have the double Jaeger squad in this building right now, so these infantry are really not having a good time. This is like 22 men initially against their like 7-man squad, so they get chewed up very, very quickly. And also the double Panzerfaust 44 is ripping through those APCs nicely, so that's good for us. And my Cobra did end up using up most of its rockets there, trying to kill stuff. And over on this left-hand side, meanwhile, I've got the... oh, sorry, not left-hand side. In the mid. Got my M1A1 trying to engage the T-72s. So I managed to get one kill there. Going to be able to get the second kill onto the T-72, but I have taken a lot of damage. Looking now for a shot onto the other T-72 in the tree line. But unfortunately, even more are going to be arriving, and I'm going to get taken out. So there goes my M1A1 that was pushed really, really far up. Obviously not ideal. I do have another M1A1 further to the right. But getting that to engage 4 T-72s is going to be hard, especially at closer range. Either way, over here, managed to get my mechanized rifles and Jaegers and Jaeger Aufklar together, so that we're going to push forwards. Enemy artillery is coming in, so I'm going to be moving my Jaegers out of the way. It was targeting the building that they were in. And I've also managed to counter cap this sector. So we're now at a +2. Things are very much all over the place right now. Big push from myself and Davis across this right hand side, which is working out nicely for our advantage right now. We'll be able to shoot down an Su-22 M4P there. I was looking for some aircraft, or sorry, anti-air with radar, but wasn't going to find any. Yeah, get out of colour. One of them does get taken out, but just check out how well my infantry does here. We managed to take out all of the APCs, the BMP-1s, and we're just chewing up these Monostrelki BMP squads. I'm going to be pulling back with these mechanized rifles. I was going to bring in a supply vehicle so that I could really get my infantry value on the left-hand side, because it's super important. Because I'm currently really spread out, I'm basically forced to get as much value out of my infantry as possible, which is something you should probably do anyway, but yeah, in this case, just making sure that I do that with the hemp there. And I do manage to get the kill with the LRS onto the Fallschirmjägerführer back here, which is a nice kill for me. Currently rocket artillery trying to kill my chaparral, but really not doing a good job. Jaegers and the gunners getting shots onto the T-72, that's quite nice. Unfortunately missing the following shots, but going to be taking out one there. And just letting these fire as much as they can. I then should probably fell them back. I'm just so busy focusing on my engagement here, as you can see, bringing back the mechanized rifles and Jaegers as the BMPs come forwards. So I do need to resupply their units. I've also got a bunch here to deal with. Springcop's done a really nice job moving up the Mi-8s with his T-80s. I believe he also had AA here. So it's making it very, very, very difficult for us to deal with things. Pioneerfjäder is revealed at the back side. I believe Davis was trying to take care of that. But my LRS at the moment, they're just running off. I'm looking to find the CV in the backside of November now. But since I'm being flanked by the T-72 here, I do have to run away with my chaparrals. I'm really hoping that my M1A1 is able to take these out. But at this range, the T-72s actually have a decent amount of penetration. Jaeger Aufkladers and the Jaeger there, engaging the Pioneerfjäder. Can they find the kill? Very tense moment this was. The MG3s. And the G3A4. Is it enough to get the job done? Yes, it is. And they go down, and that's going to be the sector decapped, which is good. My M1A1 manages to find a clean kill onto one of the T-72s at least. And meanwhile on the left-hand side, I'm cleaning up more of these Motorstrelki. So what I ended up doing here was I fell back into this building so that I could resupply those units. And then I used that to win the engagement against all of that infantry on the left-hand side. Jaegers trying to have a go at the T-72s. This would have been a good time for me to engage with the M1A1. Do manage to get one of the kills there. Panzerfaust 44 doing its job. Now just one left, which is good. It means we've pretty much stopped that T-72 push for the time being. However, now having to deal with bigger tanks on the left-hand side. My initial push up into the backside of this left, or like this left kilo objective, did force Commissar to move his leader out. So that's why it's currently completely under our control. M1A1 going to be engaging the TO-55 Flampanzers now. Now these Flampanzers, they only do 1 damage, but if they can hit the mark, they will hurt over time. You know, I've only got 10 health at the end of the day, and if 5 of them are all hitting once, it's going to chip me pretty hard. So I had to fall back here, and I was sending forwards the Jaegers in hopes that it would distract some of them. The Jaegers, unfortunately, having to deal with the artillery. There wasn't really any way for me to deal with that artillery on the left-hand side. I managed to dodge the Su-22 HE bombs. I basically was reversing. He put the bombing strike down. He lost line of sight, so that it bombed where it thought I would be, but then I drove forward, so the Su-22 missed. That's what I did there. I'm really hoping my M1A1 can pick off the rest of these, so I'm just trying to work it backwards and forwards. Make it so that I can only see one of them at a time, and that way I can get the engagements I need. It was unfortunate there that the M1A1 couldn't kill off the Panzer TO-55. It just wasn't close enough to get the job done. And now, since it's damaged, the Mi-24D, all it needs to do is get some more rockets on target, and my Abrams will go down. And there we go. Well, the HGM actually coming in there. Is that going to finish the job? Abrams, what an absolute hero. Yeah, the rockets do the job in the end. Over on the left-hand side, did bring up an M1A1. And here's the Pulamachiki, the actual squad that I mentioned earlier. The triple machine gun squad that they are. They've got 3 PKMs, so they're similar to the gunners in effectiveness. We're going to be seeing the mechanized rifles engaged into T-80BB. My M1A1 got absolutely slapped by that, unfortunately. So I did lose that very quickly, which definitely wasn't ideal for me at all. And I also brought up the Kiowa to help in that regard, but yeah, it used up all of its Hellfire missiles really fast. So now there's a bit of a push coming through from Springkopf into Hotel, and not really much to stop it. So I decided to use my points to invest in 4 of these M1A1 Abrams that I could then use to engage the T-80Us. Now Springkopf, he pushes from left to right here. In the meantime, I do lose Kiowa to, I think it was like an enemy manpad squad or something on the left hand side there. And up here, this player is currently pushing me back quite badly. But here's the perfect flanking position, especially with the tornado coming in with the cluster. These T-80Us are all damaged, so we're going to be making a nice Abrams charge. Let's see, we're engaging the T-80Us there. One of them goes down. Also got the Apache here with the Hellfire missiles helping out nicely. Forwards we go. T-80U goes down, and the Hellfire missile from the Apache is going to kill the other one, so that was really good. Now we're continuing and engaging all of the BMP-1s that are left. And I'm also going to be able to kill the supply vehicle there. Honestly, Springkopf's push here was pretty good, in the sense that he supported it very well initially. You know, he had all of these T-80s, he had all of the infantry, he had all of the AA, he also had supply for it. So yeah, it was really good, but eventually overextended just a little bit there into Hotel, and the team came back and wiped them out. So that's taken away a lot of his armored capability, and I've of course still got those 4 M1A1s up, so it's going to be having a hard time from now on. I've decided to bring in some more units. I've got some Heimatschützen mixed with mechanized rifles and Jaegers here. It's mainly so that, you know, I have the numbers to beat the enemy infantry squads. You can see here, it's like 4 or 3 infantry squads that are engaged in the motor stroke at the same time, so I'm going to be able to delete them pretty fast. And then we're just going to continue to push up that left side where the command is. Meanwhile over here, brought in some Heimatschützen that are going to be able to kind of clean out this left-hand side, so we're going to have to hunt for the enemy command. But I can't really send my M1A1s to just go through this like heavy cover, otherwise they're going to die. So I'm going to pull them to the right for the time being because of the UAZs moving in this direction, but the PVAD's going to clean them up nicely, so that's not too bad. But regardless, making some good progress again on this left-hand side, just building up another massive infantry that I can push back towards them. And it was just as well that this wasn't causing me too many problems. Like, yeah, they pushed up against us. Like, they pushed me out of Papa, but there wasn't really much beyond that. So I was quite happy to just, like, sacrifice, let them slow push up here, as long as I, you know, continued to make ground on the left. And we also managed to decap our Hotel and sort this out as well. So the Heimatschützen have found the Motostrelki there. now that the High Machison are getting into position to push through here, I'm going to be bringing the M1A1 back to help support. You can see I've brought up the Alpha Jet as well now to napalm this squad, just so that we can carry on in good time. There we go, Motorstrokey dealt with. Still searching for that command. A Commissar did pull back his leader on the left-hand side again, but I'm not able to maintain this engagement very well. There is a T-80BV there on low health, so I was hoping that I could kill that. We do manage to get it. There's one more over here on the left-hand side. There's a bunch of BMPs in here as well, so it's making it very difficult, especially with the artillery coming in. Commissar was really harassing me well with this artillery throughout these engagements. It definitely made it very, very difficult, but fortunately, yeah, I'm killing off a lot of these armoured vehicles, which is then going to enable me to bring in my own infantry to eventually start pushing back again. But here comes Sprinkopf with a bunch of T-80BVs in the open, and that's obviously going to be difficult for me to deal with. But since I've pretty much gone from right to left, we know that their leader's here somewhere. And there it is, we find it finally. The Motorstrauki Komrotti in the corner of a hotel. And meanwhile, thankfully, these Flampanzers aren't pushing into me up here, so there we go. Oh yeah, at this point I actually pinged. I believe Mario said that he didn't have any command left or something. And yeah, he had the two sitting here, which he probably like didn't notice or something. So I was just kind of trying to make sure that he knew that they were there so that he could unload one into this sector to cap it back. And also unload one maybe into India so that he could counter cap it ASAP. But with that taken out, the High Machison are now clear to push up to India. And I'm also going to be able to bring the Abrams with me as well. Our mechanized rifle is going to be able to take out the BRM-1 here. Also on the left, a couple of these T-80 BVs have gone down, and I'm going to be bringing up a TOW 2, a couple TOW 2 squads actually, to see if I can finish off the remainder. But M60's also going to be on the way. And the reason I'm bringing in M60s here is because at close range, I can do what my opponent did to me up here, where you kind of overwhelm them with lighter tanks. So whatever the T-55's equivalent would be, and then in this case it's a bit better matchup because the M60 has 15 penetration. So we don't actually have to be that close to get good damage onto these T-80BVs with 17 front armor. But another T-80BV going down there. LRS squad trying to do its best with the law, but not going to happen. BMP-2's coming in hot from Sprinkopf and the leader there, second leader on that side. But whilst he's doing that, we're going to be continuing to push forwards with all of my High Machison, which are going to be pushing across the open, with the M1A1 supporting them behind. I think this was my other teammate, yeah, Davis, was pinging Mario as well, because these mechanized rifle leaders unfortunately got unloaded a bit too far up. And I think at the time Mario thought that I had a CV for this, so he was trying to advance his mechanized rifle leaders. Bit of a miscommunication all around. Anyway, I'm finally being pushed in up here, but we're at a +4 because Davis has done a really good job on this right hand side securing November. And as soon as we capture Hotel back, we're going to have a massive advantage in points across the board. M60s are getting into position. I'm going to be finding all sorts of stuff here now. Take out the Tunguska. T-80 BVK was the thing that's capturing the sector. We're going to be popping that. Lovely stuff. And that's going to be now +5. And then this is going to be +7. And you can see that we've managed to pretty much wrap up what was a very chaotic game. M60s engaging the BMP-2 there, and I'm also going to be able to shoot down the helicopter there finally. I should have really made an effort to shoot down the Mi-8 Recon that was hovering around on this left-hand side throughout the game. But due to the fact that I was like playing here and trying to deal with this thing, and then also playing on the left, it definitely made it like difficult for me to prioritize where I needed stuff. The TOW 2 looking for the kill there onto the BMP2, does find it. Mechanized rifles having a hard time trying to retreat from the Rozvitka. I'm also trying to move the Hempt back. We've got 2 more mechanized rifles on the way to try and hold back that left side. But as a whole, our team was actually really struggling for command vehicles. But yeah, really spread out. My mechanized rifle leader going to get spotted here. Unfortunately not going to do too well, considering the SPW-70 does get quite a lot of damage down before I kill it. Like, for some reason this decided to miss the law 100 times. Yeah, regardless, doesn't matter. Still the +7, even if that goes down, it's still going to be a +6, and that's game. And what a game it was. 7,592 kills, 4,445 losses. Davis, fantastic job on the right-hand side. 8,522 kills, 3,190 losses. And Mario did his best in the center. But yeah, check this out. This Allset guy, he was AFK the entire time. Like, usually, you know, a player will leave and then the AI takes over, and so you actually get to see the points like on the field. But we're quite literally playing a 3v4 without the extra income. So yeah, it was a tough game. It was a tough game having to spread my concentration between 2 sides. Thankfully my opponent Cap seemed less experienced than some of the other players, so that did allow me to win quite decisively on the lane that I chose, and therefore I could cover the left flank as well in this case. But yeah, M1A1 did very well there. That was the one that supported my initial push, took out 2 T-72s, took out the Strellas, took out plenty of those Mudschützen that weren't unloaded in time. The LRS squad, this one in particular, taking out 2 of those leaders. That was one right at the back of the map that was just running about the place. Mechanized rifles doing okay on the left-hand side. Got a lot of value out of my infantry on the left-hand side. And then another M1A1 getting more kills there. That was the second M1 that followed me up my lane. And then at the end here, you can see the M1A1's just cleaning house through the OSAs, the T80s, all that good stuff. TOW 2s managing to clean up a couple of T80 BV there for us. These TOW 2s are really strong, so definitely make sure to add them to your American decks. But that's it. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that WARNO commentary. Hopefully there's going to be new content soon for WARNO, and I'll be able to bring you much more of WARNO in the future, because at the moment it's a bit stale, so I'm kind of trying not to burn myself out by like forcing myself to do WARNO content. So if you're wondering why there's way more Steel Division content on the channel right now, that's why. But yeah, anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.